it's not about getting rid of it. You would like to get rid of it. That, like I said, that's a kind of grasping too, right? So it's about letting go in just this moment. And we call that returning to your true self. So your true self is before all this grasping stuff happens. Right after the Buddha got enlightenment, the first thing he said is very, very interesting. He said, how wonderful, everybody already has it, but they don't know they have it, and because they don't know they have it, they suffer. So what that means is all the suffering that you have is caused by you wanting something other than this. Right? So that's called desire. We call that desire in Buddhism. So it's your desire that creates your suffering. So the suffering isn't good or bad, and you don't want to get rid of it because that's a form of desire too. So you're kind of caught in a thing that just goes around and around and around and around. That's why sometimes we use what are the little animals that run around in a cage?
Hamster wheel.
Hamsters, right? They run around. So if your life seems like that, it's because that's what it's like for your thinking mind. So what you want to do is just let go of your thinking. Don't fight with your thinking. So even in meditation, I'll see sometimes they're teaching you to fight with your mind because they want you to get something, but you don't get anything. You already have it, but you don't know it. So enlightenment is waking up to what you already have. It's not about getting anything. So you don't get enlightenment. Actually, I would say a better translation would be return to enlightenment, because you already have it. You don't get anything. That's why meditation is such a waste of time. You don't get anything. I'm going to sit here and look at the floor and get something. Wait a minute. Right? So it's not about that. So that's thinking about it rather than doing it. So our school focuses, and you probably heard this phrase, I'm sure you've heard this phrase because you see it in ads all the time. Just do it, right? The Nike shoe ad. So I was, God, if only we would have, what happens when you own the rights to it?
You copyright it.
Yeah, you copyright. If only we'd copyrighted that translation of this Chinese, it appears in Chinese as wu wei, which means no action, but it doesn't actually mean no action. It means don't attach to action. So that phrase means whenever you do something, just do it. He said it several times, just do it, whatever it is. And then you can also see it clearly and maybe change it, because you do have a native wisdom inside you. We call it your Buddha nature, which allows you to act appropriately in situations, if it's not intruded upon by your desire mind. Does that make sense? So you don't get enlightenment, you actually return to enlightenment. Unfortunately, this moment also goes by like, pew, right? You ever notice that? Goes by so fast you can't actually get a hold of it. So anything you're trying to save or perpetuate or whatever, it's a kind of mistake, because it comes from your desire mind someplace. And your desire mind is, as you've probably noticed, is very subtle. And it can do all kinds of gross things like kill other people, or it can do all kinds of very subtle things like trying to influence their hairdo or something. Like, you got to straighten out your hairdo. Be more like me. Which doesn't work, but it's funny.